Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Multiverse. Today, we are continuing the story of What If Zeena Visited Earth Earlier. Now, the last episode came out over 13 months ago, so I'll give you a very brief recap, but I'd recommend you watch that episode before this. While chasing a Flicky to regain her lost property, Zeena was lured through a giant warp ring, which teleported her to Earth. Soon after arriving, she came across E102 Gamma during the middle of his story from Sonic Adventure. With his help, Zeena was able to take control of all the badniks aboard the egg carrier. With her new Z series, as she was calling them, she would have executed Dr. Eggman, but he manipulated her, promising that he would give her the Chaos Emeralds once he was done with his master plan. And of course, not knowing the Doctor, she fell for it. And as Sonic and Tails attacked the egg carrier, Zeena couldn't be bothered, so she gave the robots the order to temporarily follow Eggman's command. And this is where our story continues. Miles above Station Square, the egg carrier flew through the heart of a storm. The many machines who inhabited the airship were preparing themselves for battle. E102 Gamma stood guard. Dr. Robotnik stated our enemies should be approaching. Be prepared. Once we finish assisting the Doctor, we will rejoin with our new Empress.
But Gamma, we don't stand a chance.
Fear not, Delta. We will survive this.
As cowardly as Delta is, he has a point. Sonic has destroyed far stronger machines than us before. We are doomed.
Gamma looked back at his class. I truly believe that if we work together, we can defeat our foe. But if we can't, if it is our fate to lose, then I am prepared to die with my friends. All of the present machines felt a warmness flow through their circuits, as if some spiritual bond was crying out to one another. This moment was interrupted as the roar of a plane could be heard in the distance. Flying high to take on the ship head-on was Sonic and Tails aboard the newly built Tornado 2. Oh yeah, come on Tails, get us in close. I'm ready for some action. All right Sonic, going in. The Fox performed a barrel roll as he dodged gunfire and began to head towards the landing bay. The heroes had no idea what dangers were awaiting them aboard this battle station. Who could have guessed such luxuries could exist aboard a battle station? Zeena kicked back and relaxed nearby the Doctor's personal pool. Now this I can get used to. An endless army of minions to do my bidding while I get to relax by the poolside. I would have never gone away with this back home. Zeena began to reminisce. She remembered kicking back, relaxing, and taking in the sunshine of Tropical Coast, only to be cursed out by Master Zik and his prize pupil, Zavok.
You irritating weed. I've trained you for decades, and you have still learned nothing of discipline.
Oh, come on, Master Zik. Is it that bad for a girl to enjoy herself for once?
Enjoyment is for the battlefield. And besides, it is a problem when that girl is supposed to be watching for possible invaders.
Oh, come on. There haven't been any invaders for a century now. You need to chill out, Zik. For the first time in the conversation, Zavok spoke up. You do not speak to our master that way. You will address him only as Master Zik. If you do not learn discipline, Zeena, our pack will be looking for a new member. Is that clear? Zeena half expected Zik to berate Zavok for speaking unprompted, but Zik simply nodded, agreeing with his prize pupil. Zavok was always his favorite after all. You heard, Zavok. Get back to work, Zeena. Zeena simply huffed before marching back to her post. In the present, Zeena gave an annoyed grunt. I know I'm gonna go back eventually, but does it have to be so soon? Things are so much nicer here. I mean, besides that egg guy, I don't have to deal with any annoying red doofuses. Hey, are you one of Eggman's cronies? It appeared Zeena had spoken too soon, as a red figure approached her. Ah, great. Who are you supposed to be? I'm Knuckles. Knuckles the Echidna. An echidna, you say? You know, Master Zig told us about your species, but for a nearly extinct race, I've seen two of you today. What? Never mind. But to answer your question, I don't work for Eggman. I don't work for anyone. So you can be on your way, Mr. Fist? Knuckles. Yeah, whatever. Knuckles glared, but he had more pressing things to deal with at the moment. So he raced out of the room. The Red Echidna marched down Eggman's own personal prison hall. The Master Emerald shards are somewhere aboard this ship. I can feel it. But where are... Knuckles paused, as he could have sworn he heard another voice. It's okay, Birdie. Everything will be fine. In one of the holding cells was a pink hedgehog, supporting a small blue flicky. The flicky, whom had a strange locket around its neck, was shaking violently, but the kind little hedgehog girl was trying to keep it calm. Do you need help, Matt? Wait, Amy? Knuckles? Oh, thank goodness you're here. Please, Eggman took away my hammer. I need your help to get out of here. I don't have time to escort you off the ship, Amy. I have my own mission. Amy was understandably annoyed by this response. You boys are always in such a rush. Can you at least open up the door? I need to help Birdie find his family. Knuckles shrugged before punching the emergency release button. The cell doors popped open. There you go, Amy, but I won't be here to save you next time. Watch your back. Okay. Thanks, Knuckles. And with that, the two heroes split up to achieve their own missions. Amy made her way through the hot shelter, but it was only a matter of time before she was spotted by one of the many badniks. The bolt-brained snitch called Dr. Robotnik, letting him know what was going on. Ivo knew he couldn't let her get away with the flicky, and more importantly, what the flicky beheld. So, he made a call. Zeena? Zeena! I know you can hear me. We have an escapee I need you to capture. Yeah, good luck with that. What if I mention this prisoner possesses one of the Chaos Emeralds? You wouldn't want her to get away with that now, would you? Zeena's eyes widened with this news. The Zeddy had taken the bait. Fine, I'll do you this one favor, Eggman. But just remember, I get the Chaos Emeralds when you're done with them. And with that, the glamorous green alien raced out of the pool area to find Amy Rose. Amy and the flicky were racing out of the hot shelter, just as they were cornered by Zeena. Stop it right there, you fashionless dolt. I'll be taking that Chaos Emerald off your hand. What are you talking about? I'm just trying to help Birdie find his family. Right, sure. As if anyone's that noble. Now, hand him over before I rip your hands off. Amy seemed a bit taken back by the threat, but quickly recomposed herself. You'll have to catch me first. And without another word, Amy grabbed her bird and ran off. Zeena rolled her eyes. Great, another bird chase. Zeena took off in hot pursuit. She used her technopathic abilities to manipulate the hot shelter, rearranging the gears and pistons to make Amy's path more difficult. But despite all of her efforts, Amy seemed to be 2 steps ahead. This brat seems to be more competent than I thought. Eventually, they reached the deck of the egg carrier. Zeena was exhausted. She never had to race after someone so fast before. But she now had Amy cornered. Whew. You made me sweat. I hate sweating. Give me the bird now. Last chance. Amy silently gestured for the bird to hide behind her. Fine, Pinky. Your funeral. Zeena unveiled her nails, preparing to pounce, only to be knocked face first onto the ground. What the? Who the hell was that? Zeena looked up at her assailant to find a blue figure with an undeniable style and swagger. I don't think I'm anything that special, lady. Just a guy who loves adventure. My hero, Amy announced as she violently squeezed Sonic. No problem, Amy. Can you let go? Amy loosened her grip. Okay, now I can breathe again. You get out of here. Save the bird. I'll handle things here. Okay, Sonic, kick their butt for me. She was about to hightail it away when suddenly cackling could be heard from above. Ho 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 ho! Isn't this just precious? Celebrating as if the game is over. Seeing as Zeena couldn't capture this little brat herself, I thought I would corner her. But since she feels the need to call in Sonic for assistance, I suppose it's only fair I call in my own backup. With a snap of his fingers, 5 Eggman robots appeared. Ho ho ho! Allow me to introduce my latest creations. Alpha, Gamma, Delta, Espion, and Zeta. Together, they make the E-Series. They're called the Z-Series now. I control them, remember? Oh, right. How could I forget? Well, they work for me right now. So, E-Series, advance! As Amy raced off to get her bird out of harm's way, Sonic simply smirked. This looks like it'll be fun. The 4 gunner robots began to open fire at Sonic. Naturally, the blue hero swiftly dodged these attacks, only to be met by a swinging punch from Alpha. Sonic was sent hurtling backwards, but quickly recovered, only to be ensnared by a pair of energy whips. What the heck? Zeena cackled to herself. All of us Zeddy have our own unique abilities. Wanna guess what mine is? Sonic struggled to break 3 of the energy whips, but it was no use. His arms were shackled. But that's when Sonic got an idea. He leaped into the air. Taking full advantage of the elasticity of the electric whips, Sonic sent himself hurling back towards the runway, kicking Zeena square in the face. One skill? I guess that's the difference between you and me, gal. I got skills to spare. It was then Sonic noticed the 4 gunners taking flight as they began to open fire at Sonic from the air. The red robot, Gamma, spoke up. Target, Sonic the Hedgehog. Cease these hostilities or be destroyed. Yeah, sorry about that, Big Red. Not really my style. Sonic drifted into a U-turn, charging up a spin dash and launching at Gamma, knocking him out of the sky. Gamma's systems briefly powered down as Sonic turned to deal with his brothers. Sonic began to race around the 3 gunners. The rapid movement of airflow created a blue tornado, which sucked them in. Zeena, not wanting to share their fate, or worse, ruin her hair, didn't choose to jump in. Instead, she decided to con the only remaining robot into doing her dirty work. Using her technopathic abilities, Zeena commanded, "You there, walking trash can. Be a good servant and give yourself up for your empress." The machine complied. Alpha raised its arms, allowing Zeena to wrap it up with her energy whips. With the preparations made, Zeena swung her arms, launching Alpha into the tornado like a rock from a slingshot. It was all in vain, however. Sonic saw the Proto-E-Series coming from a mile away and effortlessly dodged. As for the other robots, they weren't as nimble. With a loud crash, Alpha smashed into all the robots like a bunch of bowling pins, leaving them shattered on the egg carrier floor. Smoke and sparks erupted from their vents as their systems began to shut down. No! 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 Gamma stood in shock. The E-Series, the only family he had ever known, had been so carelessly destroyed. E-Series. Friends. You destroyed
my friends. I will destroy you.
Gamma began opening fire at both Sonic and Zeena. It seems someone needs to be put back in their place. Zeena raised her arm, attempting to use her technopathic abilities. But Gamma was too fast. He blasted her right in the chest, sending her hurling back towards the edge of the egg carrier.
Not this time, witch.
Gamma took aim, preparing to end the Zeddy's life, when suddenly Sonic knocked him back. Hey, Mr. Robot, I don't like her either, but don't need to have a shoddy attitude about it. Wait, you saved me? Of course. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. What's your price? What? I said, what is your price? First Pinky, now you. No one's this nice, so what do you want? If it's the Chaos Emeralds, just give up now. You're not getting them. Lady, I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm just trying to. Sonic was interrupted with the sound of an eruption, followed by cries from Amy and Tails. Sonic looked over to see that his friends were relatively unharmed, but the tornado had been blown to smithereens, and Amy's bird was missing its locket. Ho ho ho! Thank you again, heroes, for bestowing to me the Chaos Emeralds. Now the 5th and the 6th gem are mine, mine, to do with as I wish. Hey, remember who's getting those emeralds when we're all done with this, Eggman? Oh, right, you. I'm sorry, my dear, but I believe it's time we dissolve this partnership. Gamma? With vengeful glee in his optic receptors, Gamma opened fire at the Zeddy, forcing her to retreat. Zeena leaped onto the back of one of the flying badniks, taking control of it and flying it down to Earth. Little did she know, Eggman's latest experiment was nearly perfected. All it needed now was a single emerald and a frog. Back on the surface, as the sun began to set over the mystic ruins, Zeena was left with a lot of questions. What is with those goody two-shoes? Always trying to help people? I bet they think they're better than everyone, don't they? Oh, look at me. I'm just gonna help because that's what heroes do. A bunch of self-righteous... And how dare they think I, Zeena, the greatest and most glamorous Zeddy of all, would need help with anything. But I suppose if he didn't save me, I would have been a goner. Please stop together, Zeena. You would have gotten out of the situation. Right. Of course I would. Zeena went quiet for a moment, when suddenly she heard a familiar hopping. Ah, great, not that thing again. Indeed, the green-tailed frog from earlier had returned. Listen here, pal. I thought I told you to leave me alone. The frog, of course, didn't respond. It simply began to gag. Are you insulting me? The frog didn't even pay her any mind, when suddenly it vomited up a yellow Chaos Emerald. Ew, gross! Zeena took 2 steps back, trying to avoid the disgusting emerald, barely taking any notice of the strange water approaching the frog and the gem. Before they knew it, they were absorbed into the water. The beast rose up, becoming perfect chaos. Zeena, who had barely managed to dodge the tidal wave of a transformation, was horrified. She had seen many things aboard the Lost Hex, even giant worm-like creatures, but this was unlike anything she had ever seen before. For but a moment, Zeena began to understand why Zik feared invasions from Earth. From here, the events of Sonic Adventure play out for the most part how they do in the original game. Station Square is destroyed in a hateful rampage, and the heroes have to rise up to face the challenge. Tails devises that by collecting the drained Chaos Emeralds, they can use their positive energy to allow Sonic to transform into his super form. As the heroes returned with their respective emeralds, they were surprised to see Zeena of all people helping. Look, I don't like you, and you don't like me, but I don't want to be destroyed by a giant water lizard. So, get this done. She tossed Sonic the gray emerald. Huh, no problem. Zeena. My name's Zeena. Now, save the world so we can be even already. Whatever you say, lady. With the power of the 7 emeralds, the blue hedgehog transformed into Super Sonic, a form with such power and style that even Zeena was impressed. The story of Sonic Adventure comes to a close as Super Sonic defeats Perfect Chaos. However, there were some notable differences. Amy never managed to reunite the bird with its family. However, she has pledged to protect the bird until they find its loved ones. Gamma's loved ones, his friends, the E-Series, were all gone. But he still remained. His master, Robotnik, was more than willing to comfort his machine. Your brothers were truly irreplaceable, Gamma. Don't worry. We will bring their killer to justice. All you have to do is what I say. Yes, Master Robotnik. And as for Zeena, well, she doesn't know what's next for her. She can't go back home yet, but part of her doesn't want to. She can't quite describe it, but something about her experience, her adventure she had just gone on, has changed something in her. But whatever it is that changed, she's sure it can wait. After all, right now she needs to find some nail polish. And this is where we'll be leaving this what if for right now. I just want to apologize for the numerous delays with this what if. This took me a long time to get out, as life got in the way. I had several different projects to work on, and just general lack of motivation recently, but I really want to get back into these what-ifs. Anyway, I'm Comic Fan 13. I hope you have a good day.